best of all, he likes to see people like you and me succeed, and that's just something that we have in common, and I'm super pumped to be a part of this. Also, Lillian, thank you. Uh-oh, got a problem. See, you always got to test these things. Oh, well. All right, we're going to go live, too, for my friends back home and my mom, so say hi, everybody, definitely. Rotate your phone. Thank you. Oh, well, maybe not. Let's just stop. Finish. Good deal. Everything always works out. That's always fun. All right. Got a special guest from Ohio, Pooch. Used to run track. He was a coach back in the day, and his son's into computer science. Good to see you, buddy. Today we're going to talk about how to take risks, and I appreciate you all being here. I'd like to get to know you guys first a little bit. I didn't have time during the pizza, so how many seniors do we have in the room? All right, cool. Seniors, juniors, sophomores. Wow. Freshmen? Nice, freshmen. All right. Okay, so how many fifth-year seniors? Yeah? No? So no 10-year seniors in here. Okay. Pooch was a 10-year senior back there. I stretched out the track scholarship 5 years, so that was fun. Anyway, you guys are amazing. How about what states? Anybody from Florida? Great state of Florida. Nobody from Florida? How about Illinois? No? Okay. Kentucky? What? Okay. Michigan? Hey, all right. Where in Michigan? Where?
Not far from Detroit.
Okay. Up there. How about you? Midland? Okay. I graduated high school in Grand Ledge. Yeah. So cool. Okay, so where are y'all from? Virginia? Yeah. Mostly? Okay. Jersey? All right, cool. All right. Everybody's represented here. Good. All right, that's good to know. How many of you have started your own business already? All right. One back there? What was it?
I do web design and freelance search engine optimization.
Okay. So how long have you done that?
About 3 years.
SEO, okay. And you were a junior or sophomore?
Junior,
okay. I thought I saw that. See, I'm paying attention. That's awesome. So you're a proven entrepreneur. That's great. You know, everybody has entrepreneur in their title, so I like to put that in there now, right? Proven, right? So that's what we're going to talk about, how to take risks. And, you know, I believe that all of you in this room are going to impact the world in a big way. And I specifically believe that a couple of you, a few of you, maybe one of you, are going to impact in a very disruptive way, a very revolutionary way. You're going to change the world. I'm talking like Zuckerberg-like style. That's why I think I'm here. Do you believe that?
Yeah.
Do you believe that? That's why you're here, right? You're going to take advantage of it, right? You're doing all you can do, right? Okay, good. I'd like to hear that. There's two reasons I came to Liberty, and that's one of the reasons I came here and moved back to Lynchburg back in 2011. I felt the Lord call me to two things. One was this. You guys ever been to a Christian festival? You know, you've seen Toby Matt. Who's big now? I know Newsboys isn't. What's the Christian festival you've been to lately? Other than Liberty? None? What do you guys do for fun, man? Come on. Do we game? What? What did you say? What?
I said study.
Study. Okay, that's right. Okay, that's fine. So back in 2011, I came with this plan to win a $25,000 scholarship to Liberty at Christian festivals. They were getting applications at the music festivals. Okay, maybe you know a friend that's come through a music festival or put a application in. So we did a text-to-win scholarship, and that worked great. We increased our engagement over 40% in some cases. So think about that. In 10,000 people in a stadium or stand, we got 4,000 people taking some kind of action, either texting in and getting that name for Liberty. So that was one reason. The other reason is for right here now, the Entrepreneurial Center. 2011, I was involved with Knowledge Works out of Virginia Tech, and just so happened some of the leaders at Liberty, I was able to connect them. And we had an app farm there. I was able to mentor students, and I just saw Liberty as it was growing was going to need something like this department. So I'm just honored and privileged to be here today. I'm really humbled. I felt like those were one of the two reasons why I moved back to Lynchburg from Smith Mountain Lake, and I live in Florida actually. I'm back and forth every week. But I wanted to tell you guys to take a little bit, and these stories aren't about me, and I know you're studying all the time, but I want you guys to take, this is for Alex I put in here. Does everybody know Alex is a pole vaulter? And everybody knows that? Okay, yeah, he was quite the pole vaulter. Yes, he was. Here I am, Alex, going 17 feet. And is that good top end for him? Decent? Okay, great. One thing I want to say is the relationships here you have are going to last a lifetime. I know that's cliche. I know you hear that in every class. But no, I mean that. They really are. So invest in the people here. Be careful about your relationships. Guard them. I dated a cheerleader for like 3 years, okay? It didn't work out, so that gave me 2 years really to socialize, right? So be careful about that. And I can tell you, I took a trip with my son last June. I took a month off, and we drove around the country. And you know who I stayed with most of the time? I almost didn't have to buy a hotel. I stayed with the Liberty alumni, mostly track or business that I had known. I mean, that's pretty powerful. Just call somebody, hey, I'm in Houston. You know, hey, what are you doing? Hey, stay with me. You know, that's cool, isn't it? You know, business contacts, especially as an entrepreneur. Your clubs and organizations, make the most of them. Do as many as you can without falling behind your studies, of course. The Ad Fed. Do you guys know the Ad Fed? They still have that here. College Chapter of Advertising, World Series of Advertising. Probably over in communications or something now. But anyway, I was elected president as a freshman, and I carried that title for 5 years, and we ran a student-run ad agency, a 32-person ad agency, creative directors. You know, we did projects that were out, you know, in the city, logo design, ad design. So that was real life experience. And not only that, we competed on a national level. In fact, we were so big, the last year I was there, we had 2 teams, and we competed amongst each other. And then we competed, and we ended up taking 3rd to the national champion. But you know, that was some real life experience that I wouldn't have gotten in a classroom. You know what I'm saying? And it actually landed me a job at a top 10 ad agency as soon as I got out of college because I knew pizza. So anyway, everyone you know in class, get to know everyone you know in class. I know you know people in your majors, but those other, you know, core classes, make it a goal to meet each person. You know, they have something, I guarantee you can learn something from somebody in each of those classes, no matter who they are. Do that, invest in them, because you will see them again. Your paths will cross again, I guarantee it. Attend the school events, you know. It's great, I was at the game. Man, every game just keeps getting better. I know, forget about the score. But seriously, Syracuse, I mean, they're the only team that, though they beat Clemson 2 years ago when they won the national championships, and they almost beat Clemson last year. So that's a really good team and underranked. So I'm just proud of the boys and how they fought, and you know, the game operations other than concession was great. I mean, you know, it was a great game. You know, we're looking like a Division I school, and that's just exciting. So you know, get into the game, but also, you know, I like to mingle around when I go, especially homecoming or something. I like to go and mingle around and just see who I see, you know, walking around. And I ran into this guy, Billy Conn. I hadn't seen him in 20 years. He's up in New York. He's a Syracuse fan, but rooting for Liberty. He's like, Micah, gave me a big hug, you know, and we're going to talk business. He's actually in nutrition for animals, and we've got some light businesses. Who'd have thought, right? I mean, so that's what I'm talking about. And, you know, that's what you do. Internships. I did an internship every year. I sold internet advertising before there was the internet. I'm really dating myself, honestly. But Tampa Bay Online only had like 15 websites, and I was selling websites back then. You know, I was super cool when I came back. I'm like, I sold internet advertising. Wow. We didn't even have, they were actually running fiber optic in the school. We had no internet in the school. Anyway, intramurals, it's a great place, right? You know this. So it's not just an education. Make sure you invest in all those things. This other video, I also played in a band. Pooch will know this, but he might remember this. But this is the first coffee house. And we took a little risk, and one of my, Jeremy, I was like, come on, buddy, let's try out. He's like, no, I just want to sleep. I'm tired from the workout. We went in there, we tried out, and next thing you know, they actually had a contest at the end, and we actually won Coffee House. I can't remember the song we did. I think it was still it was Loser by Beck. I'm surprised we got that approved. Anyway, but we went on, we put out 5 albums. This is a little bit of what we did, and hopefully there's no music. And you know, that was a big business experience for me. And I'll tell you why, because shortly thereafter we played Liberty Homecoming, and we played a Green Day song, and then next thing you know, all alternative acts on Liberty were banned. They could not play on campus, right? Until DC Talk came out with Jesus Freak, then we were all allowed back on, because then it was okay. We used to go around, Jeremy and I, and we would do Jesus Loves the Little Children, and we did this in chapel too, and we played it in a heavy metal version, played a rap version, we played a reggae version, and our point was, you know, it still glorifies God no matter what music, but you know, sometimes people, you know, just need to be warmed up a little bit. So I took advantage of this and took a risk. one of the things I did was I got all the alternative acts on campus and I put together, that's actually a CD. You guys know what that is? Okay. So I put this all together. I had actually worked at the CD company in Forest. We actually replicated. So I put the whole thing for $1,200, put it together, got everybody to do it for free. And a lot of us in our businesses, right, we go ahead and we build that app or we finally build that business and then we're like, oh, and now what, right? So I can't tell you how many opportunities I have for people when they have business ideas for apps, and I'm like, how are you going to make this viral? That's important, not just building it. And we'll get into that in a second. But so I wanted to move these things. So I moved over. So I had I had a concert, and the concert cost $5. So you do the math, and everybody that came got a free CD, right? So we moved 2,500 of those. I don't know if you're good at math, but how many made about that much so far in college, right? Anybody make money like that? Yeah, I'm gonna talk to these guys. That's great. Keep it going. So what we ended up doing was, and it didn't go in my pocket, we just ended up putting it in to the album. We had about $1,200 in hard costs and sound, things like that. But we just reinvested it in studio time and things like that. So it didn't actually go in my pocket. Josh Cox, he was a roommate of mine. And this is what I want to talk about people and friending people. Trust me, if you're at Liberty University, you're Christian enough, okay? And I hope I don't need to say this about judging people and things like this, but Josh got into some trouble. Has anybody heard of Josh Cox by any chance? Any runners? Okay. We see him he was on The Bachelorette. He's the 50K American record holder. He's from San Diego. And Pooch remembers this. He got in some trouble. He was at the mall over there and some people shoplifted. Now Josh didn't need to shoplift. Me and him drove across the country and he's well off, but he knew about it and he didn't tell on the people. So therefore he got kicked out. So what he did is he took a risk and he wrote a letter to Jerry Falwell. And he was kicked out, lost his scholarship, everything. And Jerry took mercy on him, let him back in. He changed his whole life. Now Josh in college was not this great, outstanding athlete, was he? I mean, later in life, right? Later in life, all of a sudden, all the endorsements, everything. What age did he break the 50K? Wasn't it like 36 or something?
Yeah, it was mid-30s.
Yeah. I mean, that's crazy. And now he's looked up in the running world. I mean, he's been on Runner's World cover like 8 times. So he's 3rd at the Boston Marathon. And he had to go to the bathroom like 3 or 4 times when he broke the American record. So he was only like 8 seconds off the world record. So, I mean, here's somebody that, you never know. I talked to a girl with a big name last week. She's living in a tent. You have to connect. You have to connect. You never know. You're here for each other. We're all connected. Andy Codner, I met this guy on a business trip. He graduated Liberty. Anybody here of MongoDB? MongoDB? Okay, yeah, he's a senior exec over there. Exxon, yeah, Halliburton. He's one of the places, that's his pool on the top and a rooftop downtown Houston that I stopped and stayed. And he's actually got a basketball court in his bachelor pad as well. So, that's the kind of people, you're attracted to, and if you're open to it and you use the Holy Spirit and you listen to it, you'll find those people, you'll find those connections that you're supposed to make. All right, so let's get into the meat of this. I actually looked this up. Alex asked me to speak on how and when to take a risk. And, as I started thinking about it, how appropriate. So the probability of threat or damage, injury, liability, loss, and other negative occurrences that is caused by internal vulnerabilities and that may be avoided through preemptive action. Okay, I didn't mean to read that to you, but there's several. I mean, risk is a big definition, right? There's finance risk, there's food industry risk, there's insurance, there's all kinds of risks. This is a big topic. So I'm going to talk about mindset. The greater the risk, the greater reward. Do you guys believe in that, or is that a false belief? Is that true? Raise your hand if that's true. Oh, we got confident people. Okay, good. How about this one? Scared money don't make money. No? We don't have poker players in here? Come on, you can admit it. No? Is that true? Scared money don't make money? It does? All right, good. How about this one? You miss 100% of the shots you don't take. Or the one I like to say is the more times I shoot, the more chances I got to score, right? Okay, all right. I like it. Well, let's talk about the meat of this presentation right now. So if you want, you can watch this on the replay. I guess you don't have to take a screenshot of it. But let's talk about the guidelines for taking risk, okay? Let's look at the mindset, the metaphysical, if you will. establish some filters for your decisions, right? If you've got a mission statement and you got a goal, run every decision that you have through that filter. You know, like a water filter, how it filters things out, every decision, okay? I'll give you an example. One startup we had called Level, hasn't launched yet, Buffalo Wild Wings over here. They have a ban list, and part of our thing is you ban people and you scan their license, their passport, does a background check, terrorist watch list. Now they had a ban list. Now the funny thing about this ban list was they only got the person's name. So in some cases, so we got John and Smith. So it's a little bit of a problem, and it didn't work with our software. So, you know, obviously we wanted to get all 32 Buffalo Wild Wings. It looked like it fit, but it really didn't. And so we lost about 6 months development time. We lost the general manager, and then they closed down Wednesday night karaoke. And, you know, we should have stayed true to our core values. It really didn't fit our core market. We pivoted in development, and we paid dearly for it. So, you have a mission statement, run all those tough decisions through that mission statement. Other thing, what do you have to lose? What do you have to lose? I always like to look at this as what is the worst case scenario, right? What is the worst that can happen to me? If you know Tim Ferriss, he says, you know, you should face your fear, right? And by the way, do you know this, that there's only 2 fears that we were born with? The fear of falling, fear of heights, and the fear of loud noises. Every other fear is a learned behavior, okay? It's a learned behavior. So think about that. So what Tim says you should do is, you know, go dress like a bum and pedal and get over your fear of losing it all. I've lost it all 3 times in my life. I was worth over $3 million in 2007 and bankrupt in 2011, okay? That changed me a lot, you know? I realized who my friends were, and I made a vow to myself that I'm as wealthy as I need to be as long as I'm in control of my time, right? And so I filtered my decisions and businesses through that as well now. The other thing is seek counsel. Surveys are a great way to do this. I put out about 1,000 surveys for the product level I was telling you about. Why people are on dating apps. You know, we also ask and interview potential customers and clients. You know, and we put it all into data and made data-driven decisions. Right. So make sure you seek counsel. Beyond that, your potential clients. You can also go and say, hey, I know you've done this, and interview people that have done parts of it before, right? There's nothing really new under the sun, right? We're just borrowing things creatively and mixing in our own pot of creativity, right? Ecclesiastes. So think about that. Don't reinvent the wheel. It's probably already been done before in another use case scenario. So find that, do your research, interview those people that did it. Fail fast. You've heard of this, right? Google kind of got it big, you know, fail fast. It's so true. Like, well, Alex, I don't know if this is true. I'm getting this nickname as a mentor called the Dream Killer. I don't know if that's true. I don't really like it. I don't really like that. But what happens is people end up calling me, and like I play devil's advocate a little too well, and I find the little holes, right? But you're gonna thank me later, right? Because you're thinking about these things. If we ever get an opportunity to mentor each other, I'm gonna find out the holes in your project, okay? And make you think twice. And you may pivot. But you know what? You need to do that now. Better do it now than a year later and you got $100,000 into it, right? Of your own money, right? Right? Okay, good. Fail fast. Establish the safety nets. Very important. Make sure you have, you know, plan A, B, and C, right? Before my bankruptcy, I had money here, I had auto money here, I had investment money, I had contract money, and I fell through those safety nets very quickly. Banks pulled loans, you know, the economy turned. It was a tough time. The other thing is adversity versus apathy. I always told my band, and I've always really told my ad clients, business clients that I've consulted is, you know, I'd rather have people hate me than have apathy, right? How many musical acts do you just don't have any feeling for, right? So I told my band, it's better if some people hate us, because that means people can love us, right? There's some emotion there. So don't always take all that adversity as a problem. At least they hate you. You know what I'm saying? And you can turn them into lovers of your product if they hate you. But somebody that has no emotion for you or your product, you can't change that, right? That's almost worse, okay? So the Laker magazine, a good example when I started that in Lynchburg Living magazine. I was out at a podunk place, and this guy, and we just got done moving back from Florida. It was like 2001. And this guy it was a bar over there, and we were at the restaurant. He's like, "What are you doing? You ain't from around here, boy, are you?" And I'm like, "Yeah, it's Franklin County, Virginia, by the way." And I was like, no, I plan to start a magazine. I think I can get it up to 100 pages. He's like, spits his beer all over me. "Boy, you're crazy. The Eagle's only 16 pages. And you know what? I sold that magazine at 180 pages 6 years later for 7 figures. Okay? So let those kind of things motivate you when people say that you can't do them. And that motivated me. I knew there was a market. I knew there was the potential there. I believed in Lynchburg when we started Lynchburg Living magazine. So SMLCA, Smith Mountain Lake Christian Academy, K through 12. I had the privilege of founding that. Jerry Falwell passed away on my birthday, and 2 weeks later I ended up having 7 figures and needed to tithe on it. I don't talk about this a lot, but this is one of the things that were near and dear to my heart. And it was probably the toughest thing because I'm not an educator. Okay, I'm a marketer. And the first thing I did is went to all the churches in the area, and I said, we need this school. We need this school. 40% of the kids in high school go on to college. That's a horrible rate. We need this. And you know what? Every one of those churches threw me out of my camp. They threw me out of my camp. I mean, things like, we're already in a school. We need to win the school. I was just distraught. But I knew that that's what the Lord wanted me to do. So I kept pressing on. And I looked at that, and things happened. Next thing you know, 3 or 4 pastors had a problem with something in the public school. All of a sudden, they were on board, and it was patience. So let that adversity and don't be discouraged by it. That's better than apathy, right? You got to get to 25 no's before you get a yes, right? Okay, so that's real stuff. Those are real facts. Actually do a business plan. That's what I wanted to say. I mean, seriously, 98% of my clients don't really have a full business plan. Right? I mean, please go through the business plan. And that's why 98% of businesses fail in 3 years. Honest to God, I mean, because when you go through the business plan, you go through all those scenarios. I know that sounds like I'm preaching to the choir here, but you'd be surprised how many people retire, come down to Smith Mountain Lake or Lynchburg, have their retirement money and just open a business because they can, okay? Without any business plan or demographic search. It's crazy. Do the marketing campaigns in there. How are you gonna blow it up? If it's an app, how are you gonna get it to market? How are you gonna make it viral? Go ahead and create your ads. Visualize what it would be if you had 5,000 downloads, right? What would that look like? What would be the emotion you feel? And start with the end in mind. Something I like to do is kind of work backwards. Go ahead and write that launch press release, right? Write the launch press release. Go ahead and work backwards. Duplicate a working model. We talked about this earlier. Like businesses, competitors, there's all kinds of things that you can do, that you have to do, and that's part of your business plan. And then, in marketing, obviously we did this in Liberty. We're like, you can do all the research you want, but at the end of the day, you got to make a decision, right? So we put them all on the board, and we take a piece of paper into a plane, and we throw it, and wherever it landed, that's what we went with. No, I'm serious. So do a God-ordained coin toss if you're there. Have you ever met anybody? Did you ever sell anything on eBay or anything and wish you had it back? Right? I've never met a business owner. I've counseled several business owners, 170, 140 million, 80 million, 8 million. Never met a business owner who said, geez, I wish I didn't sell that company. Same thing. So make a decision and stick with it. I usually, and when I can't make up my mind, I say, God, this is in your hands. Power of my subconscious mind, this is a God-ordained coin toss. I'm serious, because it's 50-50. And throw it up and go with it. Don't beat yourself up over it, right? Hopefully you're making data-driven decisions, but that's not always the case. Tools to migrate. Some of you guys know these things. I use them a lot to kind of tell the potential business, to kind of get an idea for how much their advertising, marketing is going to cost, right? Their remarketing, their retargeting. The expected conversions. Google has a whole suite of tools. I hope you're familiar with them because you can do things. Like right now I'm into DNA-based nutrition, DNA-based fitness. I'm doing some corporate marketing for a group. And I'm surprised at how well DNA fitness is performing versus DNA nutrition. And most of that's to do with overseas. But Facebook Ads Library, have you ever heard of this? No? Okay, check it out. Every ad that's ever been run on Facebook you can search and find. So, I'm literally looking DNA-based nutrition. Who's done what? And you can find out what other people are doing. A great tool, Spy Food. I pay for this monthly for clients. It will tell you all their analytics. It will tell you how much money they're spending on Google and Facebook and Instagram. Wherever they're spending it, it will tell you which keywords. It will tell you where they're getting their hits, where they're getting their conversions. It's Spy Food. Enough said. Check that tool out. Who is data? A lot of people don't protect it, so you can find out who's the CEO, who owns these things, right? Those kind of things. Social listening tools. This is really big. This is where I think all the future is going to be in social lead gen. There's a lot of tools out there. I named one, Social Report, that do, I know everybody does social publishing, Hootsuite, those kind of things. But social listening, you can actually go for a keyword like graduating or looking for college. Let's see, what would be a good one? DNA nutrition, not just hashtags. Go beyond the hashtags. Go for the key phrases like, graduate schools, those type of things. Whatever you're interested, look for the phases. It will tell you how. I'll give you an example. One client in Florida, they fuse lenses. They do lens replacements. Okay, so about every day somebody says, "Hey, I broke my shades or I broke my sunglasses." That phrase, right? That's an opportunity. Okay, that's an opportunity. 500 people a day. You could reach out to with a influencer account or something, or like, hey, it's only $10 to replace those Ray-Bans. I've replaced 3. What do you think happens? Or an affiliate marketer or something like that for you guys that are in that. Social listening tools will help you develop a plan so you can take less risk. Does that make sense? Does that make sense? Give me just a little bit. Yeah, okay, good. All right, raise your hand if I'm saying anything you don't understand. Social stalking. There's so much of that you can do on LinkedIn if you haven't. Some of you guys looking for jobs and internships. Navigator's a great tool for that. Twitter, Instagram. Find the likeness. You're going for an internship or you're trying to make a decision for your business. Your competitors, how big they are. It's very simple to find out how many employees they have, how many full-time, right? All these things, what they're doing. They post a lot of personal stuff. A lot of things you can glean to take less risks. So use those tools. And of course, the best way to mitigate risk is to use other people's money, right? No? Nobody's getting that one? Okay, great, okay. You all just use your own money, right? That's the best way. Okay, so just kidding. Sales forecast. I know you know this, I know you're studying this, but this is what I'm talking about, high-low. Go ahead and work all the Google Docs you want. This is my best case scenario for sales, this is my worst case scenario for sales, right? And then take the middle. That's where your risk level is, right? Does that make sense? Okay, good. Love it. Timing is everything, right? So the product development curve, everybody follows this at some point, or they pivot in, their Facebook stock. You've got development, launch, rapid growth, maturity, and decline. Where are you in this mix? Are you always in development? Not necessarily. Not necessarily. You might be taking an existing product that's out there, or you might be merging 2 products, which we do a lot, or 3 products, or 4, and making your own unique blend, right? So you can take each one of those sectors and find out where they are on this curve, right? Does that make sense? To kind of mitigate your risk. Figure out how big a risk are you really taking. Because if it's in decline, you're taking a bigger risk, right? Okay, good. I'm not connecting the dots completely, I know. I'm just hoping you fill in the gaps. It's cool. This is an innovator curve. Okay, I'm always at the innovator early adapter, and then I jump off the ship, and then everybody jumps on it. That seems like to be my life. I get bored with it. I feel like, oh, I did it. I'm done, and then the rest of the world ends up doing it. I'll show you that in a few slides. But where are you at in this curve according to your risk, based on your risk, right? Can you draw a parallel to this? This is a factor. Drake, it's good to see you back here. I don't mean to call you out. He's the GOAT. All right, Lynchburg Living, Laker Magazine. These are some of the covers. Let's see, this one over here was the very first cover of Lynchburg Living, 2002. Really believed in downtown Lynchburg. I gave up on Lynchburg again in 2015, and then finally, 2016, it really started coming of age. It really started doing what I had thought it should have done back in 2001. And timing was everything in this business, okay? I'm gonna blow your mind a little bit. Before digital cameras, we had these things called drum scanners. And before scanners. I mean, so to put out a magazine of this quality really cost about $40, $60, $80,000. A full page ad was $5,000. I managed a couple million in GE ads, and those ads were like 10 to 20,000, right? And so something changed in the industry. I had the creative director background, so I saw that drum scanning was going away. Digital cameras were coming in, flatbed scanners, okay? Printing was becoming a commodity. That drove the price down. I was able to come to Lynchburg, I came to Smith Mountain Lake first, and started those magazines on a timing. Timing was everything in that, and I should have just kept doing it all over the country and just replicating, but I wasn't smart enough then. I was like 25. So, but what happened was we were able to deliver a high quality product like the magazines you see in the stores for a very low price. And you know what my risk was on the very first of both of those magazines? Zero. And I made money on both of them because I only printed 32 pages, you know, the first one. I was black and white on the inside, color on the outside. I drove the drum scan price, the printing price down. I was able to do a full page ad for around $1,000, and that sounded good. More about timing is frequency. The other thing of why magazines seem to do better than newspapers was the frequency. This was a bi-monthly, okay? So I did one month at Smith Mountain Lake and one here in Lynchburg. And that kept the staff busy, and then the ad agency had, you know, they did their work between that. And, you know, going to an advertiser, you got to think of the end user. You know, that's why so many other publications came later and failed, is because they try to create all these publications and go to the same advertiser and say, oh, I need another $1,000 a month. But $1,000 every other month sounds a lot better, right, to the advertiser. So that was some of the key. Timing was everything. There was industry changes, and was able to capitalize on it, see that trend, get ahead of it, make a lot of money. And it's kind of a cool ride. And all I did in that business, where I got it running so well onto automation, was I just looked at the covers and dealt with advertisers, renewals. And that was a completely automated business with 27 employees. Level, right now I think this is a big thing. I think we're being conditioned for people reviews, all kinds of things. There's a lot of low-end ID scanners for festivals and things like that. And there's some high-end stuff in Vegas. We're kind of in the middle. We do a terrorist watch list check. We do a criminal check. We have an incident management on the blockchain. I think timing is everything in this. Heaven forbid, I mean, we have a lot of shootings lately. Heaven forbid, I don't wish this on anything, but if we had, I feel like if this product was in the Pulse nightclub shooting, we could have prevented it, because that guy was actually on some lists. So this has kind of been near and dear to my heart. We've been in development for 2 years, about ready to launch. This is an idea. It's not all success, trust me, and this isn't all about me. I'm trying to give you examples of failure as well. This is failure. 2004. Anybody have a drone? You like your drone? You like your drone? Have you ever wrecked it?
Yes.
How much it cost you?
A lot of money.
A lot of money? I know. So this was 2004, Aerial Studios, my worst idea yet. So, you know, I thought I couldn't fail. The godfather of helicopters was on the lake. He did a magazine. And then I had, got professionals flying it, and we had, back then SLRs were 5,000, 6,000, I know they still are, but, and we're flying these things over water. So this is like a $10,000 risk up here. And then we didn't even get that good of pictures because, the smoke from the helicopter and everything. But I was doing this in 2004, saw the vision, and obviously I didn't like, I was controlling the camera, and, there was a lot of risk. It's not like it is now. Like, I was surprised. I had a guy on the James, and we were doing some wakeboarding, man, he just flew that into his hand, man. He got the HD, I was like, wow, man, that has really come a long way. But anyway, this was a complete failure. This is maybe too much early adoption, right? So anyway, wake and skate. Yeah, my biggest failure yet right here. Well, what went right? Okay, within a couple years, we became one of the top 5 internet dealers in the world. We moved over 5,000 wake products, all online. We were the first, in Facebook back then, 2008, to reach 10K likes. Billabong only had like 3. They actually contacted me and said, how do we get our likes up? So we were way ahead of our time, but what went wrong? The economy. And in 2007, 2008, kids stopped buying $600 wakeboards every year. The banking system changed, how we were lended money. Shopatron came out. This was a thing where you could go to the actual manufacturer's site, right? And they would order, and then they give you the deal that's closer to you. It was the manufacturer's way of being fair to their dealers, right? But still selling online, right? And then the worst thing of all, before the economy crashed, the manufacturers, the wakeboard manufacturers, were building 20% over order. So we would run out of our order in December and January and reorder, right? We didn't have to, throw down the big bucks in the fall to get it in December. And we kept going. And then after the economy turned, they built 20% less, which means, I don't know if you got that, is that they shorted somebody 20%. So when we ran out of product in January, we were done, okay? And the season hadn't even hit yet. And they didn't tell anybody that. So a lot of people didn't get their orders. That will shut you down. I also had a boat dealership on top of that. So be careful of making your hobby your business, okay? If you make your hobby your business, what do you got? Business. So if you're passionate about something, that's great. But this, I would have been a lot better off taking $500,000, going to every cable park, buying 3, 4 more boats. It caused me a lot of pain. Anyway, Euphoria. How many have ever been, and will admit it, been in a multi-level marketing? Direct sales, relationship, Mary Kay, anything? Pyramid? Be careful now. Jesus started the first MLM with his 12 disciples, so let's not judge. Well, I've never been involved in MLM. I'm helping market one now, and I recently got involved with one. I've helped market a lot of people in MLMs, help communicate with their downline with automated systems, text messaging and stuff. But in the shared economy, I'm thinking something like this may win with the right product. It's easy to get into. A 52% rev share, that's better than any of my partnerships. Residual automated income that builds, think about that. You got to look at the leadership of the company. They've been around 20 some years. They've only switched companies once, those kind of things. This product can't be sold on Amazon. It checks out on a risk for me. I don't want to compete with anything in Amazon, okay? That may be for you, but not for me. I like auto money. First to market, no one else is doing DNA-based nutrition. Proprietary technology, they micro mix to the milligram. It just keeps checking. I want to hate it, I don't want to like it, but it just keeps hitting. They have a practitioner line for doctors coming out next month. This is checking the box for me all the way around. And personal testimonial. I started using the product and I noticed immediately 10 benefits. Not only that, but long-term health. And this will be nutrigenomics. Nutrigenetics is going to be the next wave of medicine. You watch. And this company will probably be on the forefront. All right, so thank you. In conclusion, I want to tell you about 2 books. I know you don't want to read one more thing, so get the audio book, okay? That's what I do, right? Okay, the Cliff Notes. Has anyone ever heard of Joseph Murphy in the room? Anybody? Okay, well, you've heard of Napoleon Hill, right? Or Dale Carnegie, for sure. How to Win Friends and Influence People, right? That's a great book. Read that first. That will help you build into your relationship solidly. Listen with 2 ears and 1 mouth, those kind of things. Really understand, be self-aware and understand other people where they're at, which you gotta be. But Joseph Murphy was the mentor of Napoleon Hill and Dale Carnegie, and he wrote a book called How to Use the Power of Your Subconscious Mind, The Laws of Mind. And what this is interesting to me is it's straight metaphysics. And I've read over 25 books in the last 2 years. It's been my passion. And what Joseph did is he not reinterpreted the Bible, but he reinterpreted scriptures through the eye of your subconscious mind being your Holy Spirit, your intuition that God put in you. And it's just powerful. My dad's a preacher. I gave it to him. It's scripturally sound. Check it out for yourself. But it really talks about visualization, okay? How to pray and it's not manifest gospel or anything like that. It's very real stuff. And I would challenge you to look at that. I know you guys, it will help you in your business. It will help you trust your intuition. If you don't take risks and you do everything logically, what's going to happen? Right? Greater the risk, greater reward. If you believe that, that's what's going to happen. So it's not all logic. It's not all math. I know a lot of things are data-driven. Trust me, I know. But a lot of times, a lot of the things that I did that I was the most successful, there was no logic behind it at all. Okay? It was faith. Okay? So I want to challenge you guys today. Have faith. Believe in your products. Take the risks that you should take. Thank you for your time. Appreciate it.
Are you gonna hang out for a little bit?
Absolutely, I'm here.
So
Anybody wants to talk to me?
Hang out, talk with Micah. Stick around. I think there might be some pizza left.